Всем привет.
Speak English.
Ой, очень трудно, emotional. Я не хочу.
Hi, everybody. I was getting nervous because this is probably the most important class in the whole ACI course, and we are sitting and realizing that probably we could not make better karma than this one so far, right? I mean, actually, you did.
I'll
right?
confirm these
Yeah.
speaking language. Thanks for speaking in Italian. Sure, why not? One more language in this house.
Okay, welcome everybody to class 6, ACI 6, and this is like the cornerstone of the whole ACI courses because it's about direct perception of emptiness, and I'm sure everybody heard about it. If unless you didn't, then you will hear it for the first time.
And then, I mean, I'll go ahead and just jump right to the end because you want to do Sashi Puki?
We promised that we will do the prayers.
Did we promise Sashi Puki?
In Tibetan today.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay. Sure.
Let's do it together because it's not about Tibetan. It's not about Sanskrit. It's even honestly not about Buddhism. It's about the path that is getting you and everybody else out of suffering forever. And it happened to be in these languages. And many generations of people, tens of millions of people were reciting these prayers in this language, hoping to get to some kind of realization like the one we will be talking today. And you can do in your language some kind of dedication, more or less the shape I usually do in the beginning of the class. You can translate directly from Tibetan into your language and offer, mountain and earth covered with flowers, etc., to continents, and sun and the moon, etc. But the meaning is the most important. And also ancient language that is a blessing because many, to be honest, holy people were using it is also great, right? Okay, let's do it. Okay, today I will be the one who will be earthquake. Geshe Michael Roach. Rirabling Shininde Gimpadi Sangye Shindu Mikte Yowagi Trokun Namda Shimla Chupa Sho Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Kamniyatayami Sangye Chedang Saki Chaknam La Chanchu Bardu Dakni Kyatsuchi Daki Chanyengi Pesanam Ki Trola Penchir Sangye Drupal Shok Sangye Chudang Saki Chaknam La Chanchu Bardu Dakni Kyatsuchi Daki Chanyengi Pesanam Ki Drola Pinchir Sangye Drupa Shok Sangye Chudam Soki Chaknam La Janchu Bardu Dakni Kyatsuchi Daki Chanyengi Pesanam Ki Drola Pinchir Sangye Drupa Shok. Okay, so stream enter.
Yeah, why is this class so important? ACI Course 6, Class 6. every class has some kind of major idea, but why would I personally, and I think Ina would agree with me, that this is the most important class of the 18. And usually I don't even teach this class personally. If it's an English speaking audience, I'll just play Geshe Michael's class from New York in the late 90s when he taught it. And it's because he describes there, first person, what it's like to have the direct perception of emptiness. And if, from at the time, when I first heard the class, I had read a lot of books about it, heard the term quite a bit in university, in the ACI classes, in other books that I'd tried to read before finding this particular lineage. And it was clear when I was listening to the audio, clear to me, right? It has its own emptiness. Not everybody hears the same thing. But it was clear to me when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay, well, this guy's really done it. He was talking a pretty good game beforehand. He was very knowledgeable and very clear, but like, oh, I think he's really done it. And so if this was ACI 6, I was probably about somewhere in my second year of being aware of this, of exposure to this. I still hadn't met him personally. He was in his 3-year retreat, and I would have been to the quiet retreat teachings, and he did. What did he do? Did he 6 or 9? He did 6 of them, didn't he? What? He did them twice a year. He did them in the fall and the spring. And so I'd probably been to 1 or 2 of his quiet retreat teachings by this point, but I hadn't met him personally. And it was interesting. I was like, oh, okay. After listening to this class, I'm like, I think he's done it. Because if you, the 4 bodies of a Buddha, really? Like I'm going to achieve the 4 bodies of a Buddha. I'm going to do that by seeing some kind of reality that I've never seen before in countless lifetimes. And when I come out of the experience, I'm going to see the face of every living being and know that I'm going to save him. It's a pretty fantastic story, right? You can't even tell it to people without a lot of background. And then you wonder, well, is it possible, right? Has anybody ever really done it? And it's not only reasonable to have doubts. I mean, you should have doubts. It's extraordinary. And then there was a weight to this class. And if you speak English, if you can understand English, I highly recommend that you listen to the classes, particularly the New York one. But all
I
of them,
recommend particularly to the Bulgarian one.
This will happen a lot, where she'll say one thing and I'll say another. And who's right?
This is why it's bad when you have 2 teachers.
Yeah. One's going to say yes and one's going to say no every time.
Listen both.
It's like, you don't like dad's answer, go ask mom. And so listen to the class. At this point, 25 years later, I mean, obviously, personally, we're convinced that he's had the direct perception of emptiness. And that's what today's class is going to be about. Mm-hmm. And we'll do our best to give you a sense of what he discussed. But I remember this particular class. It was a big moment in my spiritual career when I heard it.
Okay, let's go. Yeah. So the Diamond Cutter Sutra, right? The class starts with a verse from the Diamond, or with the lines from the Diamond Cutter Sutra, when the Buddha says, like, what do you think, Subhuti? When a stream enters the stream, does he or she think that oh, I entered the stream, about himself, right? I entered the stream. Stream enter here is we talk about Aryas, right? So it's somebody who attained the path of seeing. This happens when you have for the first time direct perception of emptiness. It means that you become an Arya, and same is to say an Arya is the same than to say you became a stream enterer. And also, if you have bodhicitta at the same time, you become a bodhisattva of the first bhumi. It all happens the same time if you have bodhicitta, right? So, and of course, Subhuti says, no, I don't think the stream enterer can think to himself, oh, I entered the stream. And we will talk in details why these lines are important, because if you don't know who stream enterer is, then honestly, it's not clear at all. And this is the main probably part of the sutra, because the whole reason to study what you study is to become it, to become a stream enterer. Everybody on the planet, we can do the first slide. Everybody on the planet, and even not on this planet, but in the universe, are divided into two kinds of beings. Just whoever they are, there are only two. Ordinary beings who did not perceive emptiness directly yet, Sosokyevo in Tibetan, or they also call them sometimes Chipa, children, right?
Chiba, yeah.
And these beings do not have definitive time when they will leave samsara and stop their suffering. It's not defined. Nobody can tell, can say how long they will still have to suffer. And the second type of beings are realized beings, called Aryas in Sanskrit, or Pakpa in Tibetan, who have perceived emptiness directly, and they realize the nature of reality, and they know exactly how much time they stay in this realm, and their suffering life is limited. This is why they are called stream enterer. They are kind of like on a conveyor belt that definitely will take them to their enlightenment. I'm thinking, okay, let's go.
Are you gonna open up a can of worms?
I was thinking about it. Yeah, so basically, this is something. I mean, you can take it as something abstract, not necessarily touching you, unless you are entering the path to come close to this perception and to enlightenment. Because to be honest, if you understand how it all functions, if you understand the nature of reality, then you have this lifetime and you don't know what will happen if you will die, because you may not come back for a long time. It's very, very difficult to be reborn as a human. You have to try to see it. For us, this is the goal of our life.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the only thing that matters. It's very serious, because if you die without seeing it, it's very, very difficult to go back, to get back here. And there are specific steps to take to perceive emptiness directly, to become an Arya, a stream enterer, and a bodhisattva of the first bhumi. Anything to add, Mala?
Interesting side note. In the Sunlight on the Path to Freedom, in the book, I don't have it with me again.
Well, you want me to bring it?
It's sure. I flew yesterday, so I brought it with me on the plane. Is it there on the left, to your left, laying down, Milo? Is it? There you go. Well, in here, there's footnotes in here, and this is fun because I had to save it. It's not in this copy. I took this is our fancy hard. Well, this isn't the gold leaf one. We've got multiple copies of all of these.
Here, I will show you.
No, it's okay. You have the golden one. So I took the paperback one with me to work. But in there's a footnote. And in the footnote, I was surprised to see that it said that, oh yeah, that was one of the collector's editions, wasn't it?
It was my present for your birthday.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so anyway,
it's the fancy one. Mm-hmm.
Isn't it cool? Some Geshe Michael early books were were poorly printed, and it was a shame because they're just going to rot. They're going to fall apart. Mm-hmm. They weren't made on acid-free paper. Mm-hmm. So anyway, in here, and I don't have the page memorized, but I've got it footmarked because I know you're going to argue with me. But it says that there is a point where every living being, the day every living being is going to reach enlightenment before they've reached it, before they've had the direct perception of emptiness. So it contradicts this statement, because I'd always wondered, how does a Buddha not know when I'm going to reach my enlightenment? How do they not know?
I was thinking about it, and maybe it's for different beings different. To whom? Yeah. Maybe Buddhas know. I don't know.
Well, we'll look at that footnote. And the reason why I'm mentioning it is because it's fun. Like when you start digging into the books and you see these subjects get discussed a little more deeply, so anyway, it's fun.
Okay, I want to add something to it. Like, let's go a little bit deeper in why there is a difference, and will there be a difference for you in future if you will read something, same text again and again. Like, try to read this book several times. You will have an impression you read a different book.
It's true.
Because this book is itself a high karmic object, and your seeds will ripen like crazy.
Yeah.
And you will learn more.
It's like Jesus said, let those who have eyes see, let those who have ears listen. Mm-hmm. And you can give people the labels, the words, but it's still up to them to put meaning to it, right? You can tell somebody the truth, and it won't really necessarily work for them unless they have the karma to understand it, which is something that I had to learn. Like, I was in my early 30s when I was first getting exposed to this stuff. And a few times I'd be flying in the cockpit and I'd try and bring the subject of emptiness up with the guy sitting next to me. Yeah. And, they just, if you're not ready for it, it's just going to be irritating, right? It was just a mistake. Mm-hmm. And so you have to be careful about what you present to people. Otherwise, it'll be it won't be useful.
So there are specific steps how you make it happen. And today we will go through all the steps. First, we can probably have another slide, the next slide. You enter the path of accumulation. There are 5 paths, so most of you know it. The first one is called the path of accumulation. And it starts with renunciation. In Tibetan, it's Nyenjun. It's a fun word because it means definitely come out. It has a connotation also to reach ultimately nirvana and Buddhahood, but what it actually means, like Nyenpa Junwa, is renunciation. And renunciation is probably the word that is misunderstood, probably as often as karma,
Yeah, enlightenment.
nirvana.
Yeah, right.
Like there are 3-4 words definitely horribly misunderstood. So Nyenjun is about a disaster. There is a wake-up call, and with this wake-up call, when something happens in your life, some kind of personal tragedy that pushes you really to practice. And you know, I often see people who are interested in these classes because they are, frankly, they have old seeds. They are smart, intellectuals, but they didn't have any personal tragedy, and they are not pushed enough to really put it into practice. They still think that they can continue to live the life they're living, and they will still have enough time to make everything happen. And they don't. There's no time. So it's a dangerous place. Everything will be taken away from you. Whatever you have, it's true. Just use your logic. In the best case, you will still lose everything you have. Everybody around you, one by one, mercilessly, even your mind, even your awareness of yourself, even your gender, even your name will be taken away from you when you die. And there is really no hope in this place. So when you realize it, this is something that brings you to the first path, the path of accumulation. Renunciation is crucial because you may be smart, you will not put time to practice and do something for yourself. And second thing here is Rabjun, second word that is important. And Rabjun is usually used for monks because it's a word they use to commit, to call a person Rabtu Chunwa. They use it for a person who committed to live the worldly life. It's a formal commitment before ordination, but mostly it's not about it's not only about monks. It's about your mind. Like, what is the state of your mind? Can you commit that you will? We can do probably the next slide. To give major part of your life to this practice, right? Because it will take some time. You should give up on something you wanted to do because ultimately it will not work. And the disaster that happens in your life, maybe somebody dies who you love, maybe you go through bankruptcy, maybe some kind of disaster happens in your country. And in a way, it's a blessing from the point that for the first time, you may have a feeling what you will end up with here, right? It will never be the best case at the end. At the end, you will lose everything. And It takes time and takes observation to get to this point when you clearly understand it. And nobody knows. I mean, I don't know how many times you have to be bitten by your life to understand that nothing will work out anyway. In the best case scenario, you have enough observation and you are getting tired, and you commit yourself to study, to meditate, and it's not that you leave everything that you have. You probably have families, you have jobs to work, you have parents, other relatives. It's not that you give up on them. You are prohibited to do this also. It's that in your mind you start to shift towards different priorities. Because work, family, life routines consume a lot of time, and you need this time. It's necessary for your mental and physical ability to practice. So this is how you reach your first of the 5 paths, the path of accumulation.
When Lord Buddha left his family, he didn't give up on them. He knew that a conventional life was hopeless. And so he went and was looking for something higher for them. You know, honestly, that's going to be kind of a rare scenario where somebody leaves, but, it, part of the issue is that for renunciation, you have to be able to reach shamatha in order to have the direct perception of emptiness. You have to have the direct perception of emptiness in order to eliminate your suffering. And so you can't do it without reaching shamatha. And then, I mean, I've seen a lot of people over the decades try to meditate, and they'll sit down for an hour a day, which can be enough to reach shamatha. I mean, sometimes it takes an hour or two, depending upon the person. But like we spend 5 hours a day on our telephone on average, or like 7 or 8. No, it's more than that. Like some kind of crazy amount of time a day on our telephones or watching TV. I mean, you have the time. You just don't want to spend it. And then also, what I would see is that people would spend an hour a day meditating, but they'd never get very far. They'd get to a certain level, and then they'd get stuck and they wouldn't advance. And it wasn't because of that hour that they were sitting down. It was because the other 23 hours of their day weren't designed to support that. They would be too tired. They would be too busy. They would fill their mind up with things that weren't going to help them. You've got to have kind of a still mind, calm mind, off the cushion also. You can't go from 200 kilometers an hour to stillness in an instant. And so anyway, it's a lack of renunciation that's keeping people from being able to meditate.
Especially if you live in a good country, when people do not suffer directly, it's hard to give up on the life that looks good so far. It's very hard. So,
and I have known people who have lived in Manhattan, been executives, and reached shamatha. You
work the job.
You can have a job. You can live in a city. You can reach shamatha. But it takes effort.
Yeah. So let's suppose that you are fed up, you got tired, you meditate, you really put seeing emptiness directly as your priority in life. It's not again that you give up on all the activities, but you kind of pay duly respect, like you don't want even work and family life to consume you, because you want to do something better for them. If you really love them, then try to find time to make it happen, because otherwise it's hopeless. Put all the eggs into the direct perception of emptiness bag, or how you call it?
Sure. Yeah.
Bag, yeah.
Well, and again, what does renunciation look like? Geshe Michael, when it was his time, he worked as a diamond dealer
For 15 years.
for 15 years. Yeah. And so, when it was time for him to do that, he, worked in an office in Manhattan. When it was, and he was very successful, making a lot of money. But then when it came time for him to do his 3-year retreat, he left. He walked away. He had what most Americans would consider to be
Success.
The dream, right? I'm working in Manhattan. I'm part of this very successful company. I'm, making a lot of money. I mean, was it going to solve his problems long term?
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye. Yeah.
Then you need a lot of virtue to make it happen. So, and if you will see Geshe Michael teaching this subject, maybe you will see DCI 7, or maybe at some other point he will be teaching it. I'm sure he will be going through it during the 5 houses retreats, because we are going through Lamrim. Definitely there will be a subject of direct perception of emptiness. Please do not miss his class.
That's in Mexico next weekend, right?
I'm not sure if in Mexico there will be this subject, but one of these events, I'm sure he will be.
Can people can attend that online?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, by all means. And that's next weekend.
Yeah, we go there. We fly there probably Wednesday or Thursday. I don't remember.
Yeah. Thursday, I think. So anyway, by all means, if you can, watch his classes. Sign up for his classes in Mexico.
Yeah. So what is the good karma that you need? How to collect it? Because you need a lot. I mean, you think renunciation was hard?
So renunciation, first path of accumulation, right?
Yeah. Okay. Before this, so you need to find your lama. I mean, imagine that you decided to dance or to paint. I don't know, to play piano, to play tennis. Normally, you will go faster if you will have a good trainer. And the trainer should be, of course, a skillful one, right? More advanced than you at the very least. So you should find your real teacher. It's possible, it's difficult, but you need training. And this person should give you the instructions, should hand you the instructions. I mean, nowadays, Geshe Michael is not saying anymore that you should really move to your teacher, right? But maybe for you it will be a good idea, because you need your karma, right? You need your seeds. At the very least, you can work in the projects of your teachers, because you need a lot of goodness in order to make it happen. Also, it will not happen if you don't meditate. You cannot allow yourself lousy meditation. Like I recently caught myself on something that scared me because I was meditating. My meditation did not go well, and they didn't care. I was like, oh my God, like it doesn't take a lot of efforts to just make a decision that this will be, I will not move in this meditation. This 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I will be still as a stone. It's just, it didn't come to my mind that I can just make a decision, before getting into meditation. Make a decision that this one, but every time, this one will be my strong meditation, right? With the intensity. So, Geshe Michael, you know what he did? He went, instead of surfing in San Diego or in Hawaii's, he went to the worst place in the United States, probably.
Oh, no, there's worse.
There are worse, but they call it, for the reason, the armpit of the United States.
Well, he calls it that, but yeah, it's not a resort area.
Not a resort area, yeah.
New Jersey.
New Jersey, yeah, where his teacher was.
It's a port area, and there's a lot of shipping that comes in.
We should go there.
And then, well, and there's a lot of industry, a lot of like oil refineries. The oil would get shipped in there, and the oil refineries, and so it's not a
not a resort.
Nekrasivi.
Oh, you're incorrectable. I asked Bill not to speak Russian because we have different translators.
I spent all this time learning it. Now I can't speak it.
What other translators should do about it, my love?
I don't know. I'm just joking.
Okay, we will do a group for Russian speakers. Okay, so let's move. Check your teacher carefully. Be picky. Don't pick any teacher you see for the first time. You should be sure about them, and then ask them to help you.
Yeah, I think that's a completely fair statement. They say that it can take 12 years to really examine a teacher properly, and at first I thought, well, that's got to be an exaggeration. I don't think it's an exaggeration.
So what, should I divorce you and wait for 6 more years?
Oh, you can kind of, you've had an intense course. You work double time.
Okay. So
it can take, the point is, it can take a long time, and and there will be challenges to your worldview along your spiritual path, and it can be skeptical, examine, take time, and that way use your own logic to examine the situation and figure it out, so that way when times get rough, which they will, you'll be able to ride it out and stay on the path.
Yeah, and then from another point of view, you don't have time either. So 12 years, but you don't have time, right? So,
well, I'm not saying wait 12 years to start studying.
Study now, and then observe your teachers, and because when you will be sure about your teachers, the path will be quicker for you, because you will be able to rely on them better.
Oh, I knew right away, like when I first listened to the first class with Geshe Michael, that something extraordinary was happening. But then, you retain the right to be skeptical, retain the right to question.
Yeah. So find your teacher and devote your life to them, Geshe Michael said in the class. And I will just repeat what he said. He was doing cooking, driving, taxes for Ken Rinpoche. He was working his job in Manhattan because Ken Rinpoche sent him there. He didn't want to do this job. And don't allow yourself to be foolishly enslaved. It does not work this way either. I mean, you use your logic and you find a high karmic object because you need to walk this path faster, you know?
Oh, I will share this with you. For me, that point was 7 years into it. I'd finished the 18 ACI courses. I was about a third of the way through the advanced courses. I was married to my prior wife, my first wife, and she was fed up with it. She wasn't interested on an apparent level, right? And so she wanted a divorce. And I said, well, I don't want to get divorced. What's it going to take? And she said, well, either uh, you can give up Buddhism and stay married to me, or we're going to get divorced. I had to choose between Buddhism or marriage to her. And I was like, okay, well, at that point, it's 7 years into
Where's
it.
lawyer?
Yeah, right. Well, and was she Subhuti sending me on or something? Or, you don't know why people do things. And so
my previous version.
yeah. And so, but for me, like 7 years in, I was like, okay, well, I'm the higher path for me at that point was clear. I was like, I'm going to go and cook dinners in the desert for my teacher because there's a hope with that. But it was 7 years into it. I'd 7 and 10 years. So
yeah, so check their qualities, right? You have the list of qualities in class 3 of ACI 1, and you should find a teacher. Also, Geshe Michael, he told that he didn't include Lama stuff in ACI because he was designing it for Western people. And in Europe, I think people are a little bit more relaxed about it. Mostly he was teaching Americans when he was recording these ACI classes, and oh boy, I think if he would, I don't know if it was a conscious decision to teach Americans, probably. For the Lama stuff, I think this is difficult.
Yeah.
In America, because you will be easily perceived as a sect. If you will tell them seriously what it will take to do what you want to do, right? I mean,
we got a lot to go. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's go. So serve your teacher, serve maybe Dharma centers that maybe poor people, sick people, because you need to collect lots of karma. Any other karma you can think of, my love?
No, accumulation. The main thing is in the first path. The emphasis here is he's talking about meditation during the path of accumulation for a reason. You have to have enough renunciation. You have to let go of the stuff that's keeping you busy that isn't working for you so that you can meditate. So that's the first path.
And if you do some organization activities in your Dharma centers, so don't get caught in the idea that it's enough. You still have to meditate and study to Samgom. Listen, think, and meditate.
Yeah, if you're going to do it in this lifetime. So the second path is preparation. And briefly, you remember
Jorlam.
The 5 paths: accumulation,
Tsoglam.
Where you're meditating; preparation,
Jorlam.
Where you're learning about emptiness; the 3rd path,
Tonlam.
the path of seeing, where you're having the direct perception of emptiness; the 4th path, habituation. Gomlam, right?
Gomlam.
That's where you're going up you're using what you've learned during the direct perception of emptiness to go up the bodhisattva levels, the bhumis, the 10 bhumis, and you're getting rid of your mental afflictions permanently here. And then
Miloplam.
Miloplam.
No more study.
You're done. You're done with homework.
Yes.
School's out for summer. You're done with homework. No more learning. The path of no more learning. You reached enlightenment. And so we're on the second one because the path of seeing is the direct perception of emptiness. And there's a reason why he's emphasizing how to get to the direct perception of emptiness. He's not spending a lot of time talking about the seventh bhumi and how to get from the seventh bhumi to the eighth bhumi, right? He's spending a lot of time talking about how to have the direct perception of emptiness. Well, why is he doing that? Well, because that's your goal, and it's a realistic goal for you in this lifetime. Realistic isn't easy, but it's realistic. And so in the second path, preparation, you're learning about emptiness, right? So you're going to get the ability to meditate, and then you're going to use that ability, that mental ability that you've got. You've reached shamatha, and you're going to be examining the nature of your reality. You're going to be examining why things work for you, right? Cause and effect and emptiness. Like, why is the world, is the world really deceptive? Is there an ultimate reality? And then that's going to trigger the direct perception of emptiness. And then one of the big subjects that you're going to study, and the one that he's emphasizing here, is Chi Chedrak. Oh my gosh.
Quality and characteristics.
Quality and characteristics. So this is an easy topic. This is super easy. I'm going.
It's actually pretty easy.
Don't let the terms slow you down. It's not complicated. There is no one single item here at all that's complicated. It gets a little confusing the way it's translated because there's a lot of terms thrown at you, but it's simple, really simple. Okay. Chi Chedrak. Qualities and characteristics. Two different things. So what do we mean in this context when we say quality and characteristic? So quality. Car. A car is a quality. So then what's characteristic? You could say Porsche. A Porsche is a characteristic of the quality car. You could also call it generals and specifics, like the general idea of car. Well, and then what's a specific example of car? A Porsche, right? And then why do we care about this, right? Car, Porsche. Okay, yeah, I get it. Why is this important? It's how you're defining your entire world, right? So we're saying that everything in your world, you're experiencing it as a mental label that's projected onto a reasonable basis. And then we've been talking about how nothing exists without that mental label, right? That is it a pen? Is it a chew toy? It's neither until somebody looks at it. And then when people look at it, a man or a dog, it can be both, right? It's that mental label. And so we're doing it not just with pens, we're doing it with everything. And so here with Chi Chedrak, we're examining how is it How do you know that something is a car? What are you doing? What do you see, right? Like, because you don't have a complete set of information about that object. We look and we think it's three-dimensional, but you're not seeing it. Like, you're seeing, like, here, like you can see in the slide. Well, how many wheels does a car have? A four, right? A car has four wheels. Well, how many can you see?
Two.
Two. Well, like, so what's happening there, right? Like, your mind has this image of a car, which, boy, we're going to talk about that in a second also. But like, you're kind of filling in the idea of car onto that. You don't have the complete set of information. And it's interesting because with emptiness, you're talking about what's not there, right? Like the absence of something that you thought was there. You think it has characteristics that are coming from its own side. Okay, anyway, I'll stop right there. So, quality and characteristic, generals and specifics. General is a car, specific is Porsche. Simple, right? I don't think anybody should have a difficult time with that. And that would be a rickshaw. We're going to talk about four different types of qualities and characteristics, four different types of chichadra. So when you're talking about car and Porsche, that's a rickshaw. That's a type general. And just, I think for me personally, and maybe it's because I was Tibetan in a past life, it's easier for me to think of these in the Tibetan terms than type general doesn't mean anything to me. Rickshaw, okay, car, Porsche. And that I kind of got. Dunchi. So then what's next? Okay, so then at Dunchi and Drachi, I always think of these together, right? So I've been to Paris. Ina and I love France. I love it more than she does. I have better seats for
No,
France.
I love France also.
So we've been to the Eiffel Tower many times. We've seen it. We have a mental image of it from having had direct sense contact with it. Yeah. Our sense consciousness. We've seen it. We've did we touch it? I don't remember touching it. I don't think we never went up it. We just walked around it.
I did once.
Anyway, we had the direct set. We had the direct. Our eye consciousness had a direct perception of the Eiffel Tower, and people around it. And so here now, when we say Eiffel Tower, that's a mental label, and we have a dunchi of that. Like, there's an image that comes up in our mind. That image exists only in our mind, but it was based on a direct sense contact with it. One of our sense consciousness had direct contact with the past. Dunchi, okay, not hard, right? And then, so that's a
And dun in Tibetan is object. This
object.
is why. So you mistake the object in your mind with a real object.
Yeah. So we've yeah, dunchi. It's another way you're relating with your world, right? So, like, at the moment, I could also, okay, I'm going to leave that right there. So Drachi, I've never been to Egypt.
Dra is sound in Tibetan, right?
Yeah. I've never been to Egypt. I've never seen the pyramids directly. Now, I have a mental image of them because I've seen pictures. I've heard. Yeah, I've heard about it, right? I've heard about yeah, that's good. I've heard about the pyramids. I don't have any direct sense contact with them. Never seen it, never touched it, never smelled it. I never tasted the pyramids, right?
Didn't click it.
Did not. I've not tasted the pyramids. Uh, but I have some idea. Like if you say Egyptian pyramid, well, an image comes up to my mind. That's a drachi. That's different than a dunchi. It's based on sound, based on an idea of it. And then the last one, the last type of general, and the last type of chichadrak, something with qualities and characteristics, is Sokchi.
Sokchi.
Sokchi. This is collection.
No, previous one. Still previous. Mm-hmm.
So like bill.
On the picture.
Car. Okay, car. Okay, so a car. A car is a collection of parts, right? Yeah, that's good. Go ahead and just use the car. That's easier. A car is not one thing. A car is a collection of things, right? If you have just a wheel, is a wheel a car? Of course not, right? Is an engine a car? No. You have to have all the parts. You have to have four wheels and an engine and a chassis and other parts. So that's a Sokchi collection general. And the reason that we're bringing this up is because when you start examining all of these things, you start realizing how you're labeling the world, right? And when you have the direct perception of emptiness, it's going to be the first time you stop labeling things, right? It's non-conceptual. You can't think, I'm going to go drive my car, or a Porsche is a car, or you're not going to have a mental image of a Porsche while you're in the direct perception of emptiness. It's an absence, right? It's non-conceptual. For the first time in your life, you're not labeling anything. And so in order to do that, in order to stop labeling things and see the ultimate level of reality, to get rid of deceptive reality, you have to stop labeling it. You have to understand how you're labeling it. And Chichadrak, qualities and characteristics, generals and specifics, that's how you're labeling things. You're labeling everything in the world like this. So that's, and then now you can go build a PhD academic career on the subject because it goes on quite a bit. But that's don't let it overwhelm you. Each one of these is really easy.
So this is a trigger for direct perception of emptiness. As Bill said, you need to study to understand better and better, meditate. At the same time, try to understand better and better these things intellectually. And it will ripe as your realization. First, Chi and Chedrak, and then we will talk about what else you will have. You need to have a lot of virtue. So, and I don't know, I don't want to talk about us. Let me tell you about Geshe Michael. I mean, it's an honor to serve Geshe Michael. He does not need us serving. When he translates books, he is so fast, and he can translate one book within several days. And then he spends time teaching Schwensen Tower It's not for him, it's a hustle for him. It's for us.
I've seen him. He can translate as fast as he can type, and he can type fast.
Yeah. So he like check it out at on the page of the Schwensen Tower project. There is a video, 20 minutes of him advertising this project. And he says, if you want to see emptiness directly, go to Schwensen Tower classes. This is how you will see it directly. You need to hear it first. Then it will become an object for you. And then you will be able to remove all the objects and to have the experience.
And there's a karma simply by participating in the group event. Mm-hmm. You're supporting that group event. And by supporting the group event of this class, you're creating the karma to understand. Mm-hmm. So don't worry if you don't understand it. Just by attending, you're planting the seeds to be able to.
Mm-hmm. So there is something else that you are supposed to master before coming to the last hours. We are now approaching final hours. Future area is almost close to seeing emptiness directly. What happens? You have one more realization. It is called mitakpa. Took me a long time to understand what it means at all. We don't have a picture for this one. Because it happens before the highest dharma. This will be the next question. So mitakpa is another key, is a subtle impermanence, the fact that it never, everything around you, including yourself, everything never stops changing, moment to moment to moment to moment to moment. And at some point you get a profound experience of it, not just blah, blah, blah. You just experience this change. And this freaks you out for days. And this is called mitakpa, subtle impermanence. Next slide. The final hour before seeing emptiness directly, chuchok. Mm-hmm. It is called the highest dharma, because why it is the highest? For children, right? Not for Aryas, it is the highest. It's when you for the first time see directly tendril, dependent origination, right? Mm-hmm. You want to describe it, Milan?
Yeah, we see things as wholes, right? Like car is a whole. But what we're doing is we're taking parts and labeling it as a whole. But it's happening so fast, you don't catch it. You don't see it. Like you're doing it with everything. Like if you have like like Ina really likes collecting these Starbucks cups. They're trophies for everywhere we've traveled, right? So we've now got them from, and it's always Dharma related. It's always like Kyoto, and this one's Arizona. London. Yeah, that was a great trip. Paris and Leon are my two favorite cups.
So, I don't let him use my London cup.
Yeah, well, so I have to, if I'm going to drink coffee, it has to be out of the Paris or Leon cup. So anyway, but we think cup, right? And so like you're looking at this, and I mean, you're imagining coffee going in, but you can't see the inside of it. You only have some information here. You have this curve and that curve, and
you can stop slides for a moment.
And then what you're doing is that you'll catch yourself, and this is why meditation helps, is because your ability to focus increases dramatically, and then you can catch yourself even like off the cushion, right? Because when you get shamatha, your ability to focus goes with you off the cushion also. Not completely. You still need to sit down, but your mental capacity increases. Your mental capacity to focus increases dramatically off the cushion. And you'll catch yourself like quickly, dun, 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 dun. Like I just looked at this little piece, and that's all I saw just in that moment was that little piece. And then I saw this little orange, and then I saw this little white, and then like frames in a film, you're putting it all together like really, really quickly. And you catch yourself doing it, and you realize, oh my gosh, that my mental images, and I'm not saying that the cup doesn't function, right? But my mental images of the cup, each one individually, they're not coherent, right? Like you catch yourself just seeing just this little bit, and you realize that like in a moment, that's all you're seeing. You can't see the whole thing. And you catch yourself building this dependent object. It's dependent upon its parts, right? Uh, and you catch yourself doing it, and then and that's what triggers your ability. It's kind of crazy. And it's almost like the pixels on a television, like all the little dots, like the old fashioned televisions where it was a cathode ray tube, and there were just little dots of color, and like
Or there was a painter, Paul Signac, who would use just
pointillism.
pointillism, just points of bright spots, and they would create an image that would look almost like a photo if you go backwards. Or you can think about impressionists, right? Like they were big on with one stroke, like, and it's actually a stroke, but you go back a little bit and you see a hat, it's crazy. And it's not them, they just caught it. Your mind is doing it always. Like you go behind the car in the dark, you see just unclear shape of the car, like a square, and two red spots, like red lights on the back of it, and you are sure that it has the front, it has the wheel, it has the seats, it has the driver, and you cannot see it.
So you catch yourself doing that.
Yeah.
And then you take that knowledge.
Under the influence of lots of good karma that you have created because you were serving, helping. Yeah, you realize you really see just colors and shapes.
Yeah. So.
Tendril.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in tendril, I think we should mention, Geshe Michael does it in his class also, that in ACI 1, actually, you had already the preview of this tendril of the dependent origination. Remember when we were talking about 3 explanations of the dependence? Things have causes, things depend on their parts, and the real meaning that they depend on the picture coming out of your mind and covering a cup or a pot in Geshe Michael's case, right? He's describing every time he was making tea for his lama and he suddenly has seen something roundish, something silver, shapes, forms, and the mind puts it all together and it functions. Anything else we wanted to say?
No,
I think we forgot one thing, very important for them or for us, I don't know. The tragedy is why we need to study it, because it's completely random where we will go. And very low probability that we will be reborn as human beings again for millions and millions of years. So somewhere on the second pass, I was relieved when I heard it. If you understand the emptiness, and if you keep your vows, or at the very least ethical behavior, you lose ability to be reborn in hell realms. That's a good one, right?
Yeah, just an intellectual understanding of karma and emptiness can keep you from being born in a lower.
More or less, they say you should go 2/3 of this pass, of the second preparation pass, to get to this point. Basically, when you are not able to hurt other people, more or less.
Yeah, on a practical level, and this isn't authoritative, this is just my opinion here. I think if you do the 18 ACI courses
Protection.
and really
and understand them
and do your homework. Yeah, well, you don't have to understand it all, but you have to do your homework.
No, that's too easy.
No. Yeah, easy. See how many people have done it. I think you're pretty far along the path. I think I know in my personal experience that it dramatically upgraded my understanding of the world, dramatically. And that once, like if you do all 18 ACI courses and you do your homework, I think it will be pretty much, I mean, you're not going to be free from mental afflictions just by doing that. But I think you're going to be it'll be pretty hard to lose sight of the fact that the world's being driven by karma, completely. I think you'd be pretty far along the path of preparation if you complete all 18 courses.
And okay, let's do the Tom Lam, and then
okay,
let's do the other stuff. So third pass, right? Tom Lam has two parts.
Path of seeing.
Path of seeing. Nyamshak Yeshe and Jetop Yeshe, two parts. So when you had this direct perception of what? Of positive side of reality, right? Of the dependent origination. You go and sit in your meditation. Mostly you would see emptiness directly after that. So you get into your meditation, and what happens if you have shamatha and all the good karma that you have created, you enter into direct perception of emptiness for more or less 20 minutes, plus minus. And you cannot perceive yourself anymore at that time. This is why in the Diamond Cutter, they talk about the stream enterer. What do you think? Is the stream enterer who enters the stream thinks of himself as a stream enterer? No, of course he doesn't. Answered who? Subhuti, who is Manjushri in disguise, right? Of course Manjushri knows. Because they do not perceive themselves. Ultimate reality is such a heavy object, how to say, it occupies all attention. You don't have anything left. You can just perceive this. No positive object can be perceived. You cannot perceive time. You cannot perceive yourself. You are just in intense contact with ultimate reality. Anything to add?
The direct perception of emptiness is an absence. It's a negative. It's not just looking at black. When you're in the direct perception of emptiness, you can't think, hey, I finally did it. I'm having the direct perception of emptiness. Because
there's no you.
Yeah, well, because
at this point,
all of those are mental labels, right? All of that is conceptual. It's your mind labeling things. And so your mind can see emptiness in a yogic direct perception, but it's not labeling things at that point. You're not having a conceptual experience of it at that point.
Including there is no label you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then lots of people, like when you start meditating, you'll you'll have these experiences, right? It's not all that hard to get to the point where your body disappears, right? Mentally, you sit down and physical, they call it physical pliancy, uh, comes quicker. And so, people will have this experience where they're like not really aware of themselves, and they'll think, oh, well, I had the direct perception of emptiness.
Not enough.
And then you ask them, well, did you have the J-top Yeshi?
The wisdom of the aftermath.
Yeah, the subsequent wisdom. And then there's and they'll always say no. Or, like, well, but I had the direct perception. So no, it's one of the things that always happens after an authentic direct experience of emptiness is you have this subsequent wisdom, the J-top Yeshe. Do you want to talk about it?
I think first, can we see the slide?
Oh, you want to talk about non-dual? Yeah.
So we covered the first part of non-duality because you have a question about two meanings of something called non-duality, right? And first one is subject and object. This is what we described during direct perception of emptiness. You cannot be aware of your own mind, since it's a part of deceptive reality, and you are in perception of ultimate part of reality. So you cannot say, I'm perceiving emptiness directly, finally.
Mm-hmm.
And the second meaning is that subject and object are coming from your seeds and are equally empty of their own nature. In this, this is the real meaning of non-duality. And you will hear lots of stupid things like non-duality means everything is same, or good and bad it does not exist. That's not true. One non-duality is during perception, and another one that everything has no self-nature, self-existence.
Subject and object, right? So non-dual, subject and object. I am seeing emptiness directly. Subject is I, me. I'm the subject. Emptiness is the object. Like right now, I'm in deceptive reality. I am the subject. I see Ina as my object. Subject and object. Same thing in the direct perception of emptiness. I am seeing emptiness directly, subject and object. That can't happen. You're not having that kind of an experience during the direct perception of emptiness.
Mm-hmm. And could you please show the next slide? And this is very important, what non-duality is not, right? Because you will hear, especially New Age stuff, like, oh, everything is same. It's all me. There are no separate objects around me. It's a wrong idea. It's called nihilism, and strongly refuted by the middle way, because you have to go between two extremes, right? You cannot say nothing exists or everything same. It's another idea of the same root, and you should not think that everything is self-existent. So it's about non-duality also is used for the feeling when during direct perception of emptiness, when somebody perceives their own emptiness and is kind of how to say meditating on their own emptiness and meeting for directly the ultimate reality, they feel it as pouring water into water. Chula Chushakpa, very famous expression in Tibetan. Okay, now we can go to the wisdom of the aftermath, right? Geshe Michael says that you have this perception for 20 minutes, and then there is a feeling of descending because you were on a different level of reality. Your mind descends from the form realm. It's a higher level. It's not desire realm where you are right now. And you, for the first time, can say, I did it. And I'm not crazy. Two thoughts. And then good things happen. I did it. I'm not crazy. I know I did it. You want to talk about Jetapesha?
Sure. The four Arya truths. You'll see them in English translations called the Four Noble Truths. It's an older translation. It's not really accurate to the meaning. They're called Arya truths because they're things that everybody who has ever had the direct perception of emptiness, when they come out of the experience, has the experience over the next day of experiencing these four Arya truths. And Lord Buddha talked about it. It's the first one is the truth of suffering. You realize for the first time that everything in this world, everything in samsara, everything in deceptive reality really is suffering. And so that's the first Arya truth. The second Arya truth is that you realize that there is a cause for everything, for that suffering. The suffering has a cause. And part of this is the truth of utility. This is a subpart of it. You realize that since beginningless time, you never did anything that wasn't at least a little bit selfish, which is why everything was suffering, right? Like you'd never had a pure thought in your entire life. Even when, you were a mother taking care of your child, there was some part of selfishness there. Then you realize that there's an end to suffering. You see the day that you're going to get enlightened. You know how many lifetimes it's going to take. And
you become Sipelendun Pava, the 7 life timer.
Sometimes there's different versions of what it can be. It can be 1 lifetime, it can be 7, it can be 21. Geshe likes to talk about 7 lifetimes a lot. But you see the day you're going to be enlightened, and you know that you won't be called Bill on or whatever on that day. You'll be whatever your Buddha name is. So that's the third truth, that there's an end to suffering. And the fourth Arya truth is that there's a path to the end of suffering, that there is a way out, that there's things that you're going to do that are going to get you out of suffering entirely. And frankly, if you're here in this class, you're on that path, right? It's early stages, but the path will continue after you've had the direct perception of emptiness. As you go through the different bodhisattva levels. And this is also where, if you're on the Mahayana track, if your mind was imbued with bodhicitta, if your mind was imbued with the desire to reach total enlightenment for the sake of every living being during the perception of emptiness. And there's a big discussion about how is it possible to have a mind that's imbued with bodhicitta, which these are all labels, right? How can a mind be imbued with bodhicitta while it has the direct perception of emptiness? And that's a discussion we've had in other classes and can keep going on, but it's possible. And if your mind was imbued with bodhicitta during the direct perception of emptiness, when you come out, you have this experience of seeing every living being in the universe and knowing that you will save every single one of them. That you'll keep working until every single one of them is enlightened. And how is that possible? Well, time's empty, right? There's an infinite number of moments in a given second, and so you can see an infinite number of beings in 20 minutes. So that's the four Arya truths. Something to add to it?
I will. I think I can quote Geshe Michael for some more. Sure. For first time I heard from him, he says that in some books they say, some scriptures say that bodhicitta can start earlier than direct perception.
You can. That's absolutely, books say that.
Yeah. You understand that you cannot go back, and for the first time you see that your death is real. Mm-hmm. You read minds of other people till the rest of the day, and it is depressing because people are creating their own sufferings and they don't know about it. Mm-hmm. You know that you will spend the rest of your life serving other beings with intention of helping. It will be happy and you will never be able to stop it. Mm-hmm. You know that all these books are 100% true, open, and secret. And there is, Geshe Michael was saying 100,000. Now he says 300,000 of books worth translating, like over 3 million pages. You will have passion to save those books. You will become crazy about saving them. You will know that Buddhism is a true path, and here it's not about that other paths are not valid. It's just the whole path. Jesus walked exactly same path. It just happened to be preserved in this tradition better, and probably nowhere else nowadays in the world, even probably not in Christianity in its completeness. You
don't know what's secret, right? Like I've often wondered, a lot of the Catholic Church is secret, and I wondered if because these teachings weren't being preserved somewhere inside of it.
Yeah. So, but here the path is full, complete. You don't have to doubt it. Learn it, see it, pass it on. You will realize something about desire realms and hell realms. You will not see it directly with your eyes, but with your yogic cognition, you will know about their existence and you will know it's all pure suffering. You know you have seen a Buddha because you met directly a Dharmakaya, one part of an enlightened being for the first time. And you can confirm that enlightened beings do exist. And it's awesome.
And so the part of the Buddha that you're seeing is the
emptiness.
The Dharmakaya.
The ultimate part.
The emptiness of the Buddha. So, and that's one part of the Buddha's body, is what you're seeing.
And when you come out of this perception, first thing you do your first real prostration. You just flat on the ground, face down, and be just there. And it's natural, not thought out. You have, for the first time, appreciation for Buddhist images and any angels, because from now on they are not images for you. the pictures of your relatives or friends, people who you realize that somebody really has seen them. What else? You have a realization about the diamond. You struggle to find an image to reflect what you have seen, and it's almost, for some reason, a diamond. You will be compelled to get a diamond because this is the closest that you can find, and you will try to hang around those diamonds. Geshe Michael has sold the car to buy the diamond to offer to the Buddhas.
You should listen to his story. At what point, when did he tell the story about the car? He tells the story in detail at one point
Every
later.
time he teaches about seeing emptiness directly. Okay. Here, I was listening, actually every single class, but Gaia or New York, you can find it there.
Now, after being in London, when we saw a 40-carat diamond, it said, I don't want to buy a little one. I want to buy a 40-carat one.
Yeah,
it was bigger than the iPod case.
Yeah. Actually, he says that every single area does it. They make the first real offering. They buy a diamond, and either they put somewhere nobody can find, maybe in a cave, or maybe in the they throw in the ocean somewhere. And this is for the first time a real offering. Nobody can see it. Nobody will praise you. Nobody will know.
Well, if we got to throw it in the ocean, maybe we'll get a little one.
You understand about two different realities going on at the same time, normal and ultimate, and they're completely separate. And you realize that you're totally above the reality you are in for the first time. You realize you never had even one accurate perception until now. And unfortunately, when you get back, you go back to your old reality. It's depressing, but now you're just crazy, and things are not the way they look like. Until you are enlightened, you cannot help yourself seeing this way, and it's a very weird way of living. You see the general content of your future lives, and it's a party. You practice Dharma, your parents are great, you meet qualified teachers, you serve them, they are happy with you. And if you practice Tantra, it's even more amazing. If you have experienced bodhicitta, then you reach the first bhumi and become at the same time the Dharma and the Sangha jewel. And you go through 6 perfections, one by one, being a bodhisattva. Next slide, please.
What do we got? Where are we up to?
2 truths, but we actually just, the illusion. Okay, great. So we talked about
Okay. Yeah, you discussed all of these, didn't you? Yeah, you did it.
Yeah, we did 6 and 7. Yeah, the 8. Yeah, so this one we also just did. Illusion does not mean here. So during direct perception of reality, you do not see object, right? I mean, you see only ultimate reality. Then you have all these realizations, and there are several things that you stop forever. One of them is a cool one. You stop believing that things can self-exist. So you know that you're wrong when you see them as self-existing. It's like Ulysses, who tied themselves to the mast not to jump in the water because he wanted to listen to sirens, And I think this is such a great analogy. I mean, they do look self-existent all the time. And you have this healthy schizophrenia, and you every time you kind of disagree with yourself and say, yeah, okay, you look this way, but in reality it's different way. And this is how you fight this illusion. It does not mean things do not exist. It means that they are not the way, they do not exist the way they look like. So it's not that nothing matters. It means that everything you do to other people will ripen on you. Gyuma tabu is the Tibetan for it. It's one of the realizations, right? Okay, next slide, please. There are two mental functions that are forever stopped because you had the direct perception of emptiness. First, intellectual belief in self-existing objects. No one will be able to convince you again. Then Zin Kuntak. And second, doubts about these teachings. It is also called Tetsom. You know that it's true and you are on the way. There is one more. I think you stop hurting yourself. That I'm not sure if it made it to the homework. Probably not.
I lose belief in wrong paths.
Or believe in wrong paths. Also, yeah. You lose belief in wrong paths.
So sometimes they say there's a third one.
Yeah.
So like there were, like there was at times in Christianity, there was this tradition of, they call it self-flagellation. People would beat themselves with a whip. They would wear uncomfortable clothing, and it's supposed to be a way to purify themselves. And in India, there was, some mistaken spiritual beliefs that, jump off a cliff and, land on a spear the right way and it would save you. And so you no longer believe in wrong paths anymore. It is some texts say that there's a third one.
Yeah, so my love, basically what you will do for the 7 lifetimes after that. I mean, why there are 7?
Yeah, you're going through, you still have all of these seeds to see things as self-existent. You still have,
suffer
your old bakchak. Yeah, you can apparently your lives are going to be good. You're gonna have everything you need.
Can you imagine? Even 7 lifetimes, I'm done.
I don't want to come back 7 times. Not even 7 good ones. I'm just ready for enlightenment. But yeah, you come back, you have everything you need. You'll be educated. You'll grow up in a nice family. You'll have the food you need and housing and education, and each life gets better than the one before it. And but you've still got this you're still seeing things as deceptive reality. You know that it's wrong, but you're working your way through the boomies, and you're getting rid of your mental afflictions. Your 84,000 mental afflictions.
It's a path number 4, by the way, right? It's a gomlam.
The path of habituation.
You have seen something cool, and then you digest and destroy your mental afflictions on the way.
And each life gets better than the next, and until you're fully enlightened. And then they say, now this is, and we've covered this before in these courses, if you've been with this, at the 8th bhumi.
It's the next slide, by the way.
At the 8th bhumi, you can start seeing both emptiness and deceptive reality at the same time. So you're really so, and there's 10 bhumis, right? The 10th being enlightenment. So
you must study Chi and Chedrak, subtle impermanence, serve your teachers, meditate deeply, and you should see emptiness directly, then you can reach nirvana. And nirvana is actually pretty cool. Never ever you can have a bad thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or be unhappy, even be bored. Completely impossible. So,
and nirvana is the cessation of mental afflictions, which is different than enlightenment.
yeah. So I think we can finish with what Geshe Michael told his students 30 years ago, because I really loved how he finished. He said, "You are a perfect material to see emptiness directly, every single one of you. Forget your old life. Now you are going to something really cool. Just take it seriously. Everybody here can do it. You're close, really close." They compare it to the bullet that goes through the paper, right? And imagine that there was a bullet and it made already a little bit of the how you call it,
Paper.
pressed already the paper, right? So you're rare, and
I can tell you there's going to be days when you're going to get tired waiting for that bullet to go through the paper.
definitely. And you should not get discouraged also, because there are special kind of obstacles that is talking in your mind that you cannot make it this lifetime. It's not true. Everybody can do it. You're rare because you're here. Just be interested, work hard, don't go into caves, take care of yourself, of your body, be happy, and serve this goal, shift your goals to direct perception of emptiness. Serve your teacher, people, old people, sick people, study, meditate, retreats, and there is only one reason to practice these teachings is to see emptiness directly. No other reasons. Everything else, you are cheaper. You are a child. You see emptiness directly, you are a different being forever. You're an Arya. So let's dedicate this class.
The teachings are authentic. People have had these experiences. It's getting taught to you for a reason. It's like Rob told a story. Rob Haggerty, that's Geshe Michael's attendant. And he, like 30 years ago, he was in New York and he was working as a manager in a bar and was making pretty good money. And Geshe went to him and he said, "Look, come with me and we're going to go do whatever projects." And he said, "If you don't make this decision now, you're just going to spend the rest of your life picking out which washing machine you're going to buy, for your clothes." I said, "There's something higher to go do." And so it's the path's legitimate. The goals are real. And listen to Geshe Michael's class.
Yeah.
If you understand English.
And try not to lose the blessing of what you have just heard. Do not put it down. Like, try to save this feeling that you can really do it.
All right. Ready to dedicate?
Sashi puki jukshin metak tram rira blinshin yende gempadi sangye shingdu mikte ovagi chokun nandak shingwa chupa shok idam guru ratnamandalakam niyatayami gewadi kevokun Sunam Yeshe Zok Shing, Sunam Yeshe Lejung Wei, Dampa Goni Tu Par Shok. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, translators. You are amazing. It was a long class and we could not make it shorter. It's 2 hours in Geshe Michael version. Thank you, technical team, volunteers. Please help ACI, help us become volunteers. Because now you know that if you spread this knowledge, this is what brings you closer to emptiness directly. And see you next time in 2 weeks, because please join us in Mexico or online. We will be there. And I think I will be doing one of the questions and answer sessions. So we will see you there.
Yeah, please don't miss it when Geshe Michael teaches.
Never ever.
You don't know how long he's going to be with us, and he's extraordinary.
See you in 2 weeks.